So looking at you, I can see like 4 people.
33-year-old LaKesha Johnson of Milwaukee just wants to be a good wife and mother.
There's a blind spot in the middle, which is really weird.
But her multiple sclerosis keeps getting in the way.
My right leg going completely numb, where I'm dragging it all the time, like I can't feel it at all.
Diagnosed in 2007, traditional drugs have failed her. Even chemotherapy with steroids, and the symptoms keep coming on. But there was new hope recently when her doctor told her she was an excellent candidate for a stem cell transplant study at Northwestern Hospital, which has shown great success using MS patients' own stem cells.
Their neurologic disability reverses, and in fact, even though after this treatment they're on no therapy for MS, they improve neurologically at 6 months. They're better at 1 year than 6 months, and their maximal improvement is 2 years after the procedure, with reversal of what had otherwise been ongoing neurologic deficits.
Dr. Burt says hundreds of patients from around the world have come to his lab to take part in the study. The cost, $125,000.
Well, most insurance companies pay, and Medicare, which is federal, and Medicaid, which is state here in Illinois, they pay. So it is the rare insurance company that won't pay.
And it just so happens that LaKesha Johnson's provider is one of those rare exceptions.
This is a process of just getting certain people who have put blinders on and have just said no to be able to listen. And for this particular insurance company, I've repeatedly said I'll come, present data, talk, answer questions. Those offers have never been accepted.
It's crazy because the letter that I got the first time is just about mimicking the same letter I got every last denial.
It was then at the urging of a friend, when she was feeling her lowest after yet another chemo session, that Johnson did something she never imagined. She went public with her private struggle.
But it's so far away.
Going on YouTube to ask for money.
This all started in April, May. It's now December, and my episodes are almost weekly.
So I actually haven't watched it since I did it, actually.
Why?
It's sad. I know it's weird because it's me, but hearing the story is probably harder for me than actually saying the story.
She calls her blog Johnson's Footprints, and between friends, former classmates, and strangers, she's raised $12,000.
I'm hoping that this will get out to the right people.
While encouraged, Johnson's husband knows they've got a long way to go. He uses his wife as inspiration not to feed into the anger, and while we visited with them, looked straight into our camera and had a message for the powers that be at Blue Cross Blue Shield, Minnesota.
This is eating at our family. Imagine this being your wife, your daughter, your mother. I mean, it's different when the shoe was on the other foot. If it was you sitting in my position, you would want this done.
It was devastating to know that you pay all this money for insurance, and when you get sick, you're like, I have insurance, they'll help me. Not necessarily. It's like, what are we paying for? I'm better off just not having any insurance out there at all, because $125,000, who has that much of life savings? I'm 33 years old. How much can I save, you know, in 33 years? But that's what it feels like. It's hard.
Is it insulting to you that an insurance company would not respect what you're doing here and decline a patient from receiving this kind of care?
Well, I'm a physician. I always look at the patient. I try to do the best for my patient. If I was this patient, I would want this procedure. Her neurologist referred her here for this procedure. Insurance companies look at things a different way. They have to look at a global perspective of all patients, and obviously, you know, they have a limited amount of resources, so they have determinations what they pay for and what they don't. What's not understood, and what is frustrating for me with this insurance company, and I've offered many times to come talk to them at their meetings where they make these decisions so they're educated about what we're doing, and they've always declined. But what I think they don't understand is not only is this the only therapy that reverses disability, that is an improvement in EDSS by 1 or more point, which no other therapy has been shown to do, as long as we get it early enough in the stage of the disease, but that it is actually quite likely very cost effective. Now, we haven't done a cost analysis, but if you look at the cost of Tysabri or Gilenya, which are extremely expensive drugs, second-line therapy, which is where we would use this treatment, our treatment, which is a one-time treatment, we stop all treatment afterwards, would pay for itself probably within 18 months.
Did you want to give up?
No, not really. The reason I can say no is because of my son. I know I have to live for him, and being married. My husband had to watch his father die of an autoimmune disease when he was 18 years old. He spent his teenage years just watching him dwindle down, and the thought came in my mind, if I have to do that to him being his wife, I can't do that. I can't live with myself knowing that I put him through something so devastating again. So giving up was never an option. Giving up is not an option.
Since I first reported this story in February, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota has not changed its mind. LaKesha is deteriorating with another chemo treatment, but I did have contact with her recently, and she says the family is hopeful, hosting another fundraiser. Donations can be made care of U.S. Bank, any branch care of Johnson's Footprints, that's the name of LaKesha's blog, or checks can be mailed to P.O. Box 250688 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, zip code 53225.